All right, everyone. Welcome to shit. What is this? Third tasting of Beauj 2026. I'm joined by none other than you all know this guy, Mr.
Hello.
Jacob Dusso. It's been a while. He has chosen not to join the Beauj Club like a little bastard, but he gets to enjoy.
Still get to drink it.
He still gets to drink it. So we are last 2 weeks we spent the first week in Beaujolais, second week in Beaujolais Village, and then now we're finally entering the crew. So this is the first crew. This is the most northerly crew. So you obviously all have this map and everything, but yeah. So looking at the first map, the French map, you all know where Beaujolais is. Is that like a light pink area, just on the southern tip of Burgundy, just southwest from Paris. It's kind of in the center, east, just eastern, the smack dab center of the France, just east of it is essentially where we are. And if you look a little bit more closely, this very simple map of crew map. So we're on the very top. So yeah, we're in the Beaujolais, the southern Beaujolais, the southern half, the first week. We're in Beaujolais Village last week, right, with the purple area on the left side, on the western side of all the crews, in northern half of Beaujolais. And finally, we're starting out with the Saint-Amour, which is, what color do you think that is? What would you call that color?
Like taupe,
Taupe?
brown. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a
Khaki.
I think khaki, like to me this is brown. Yeah,
that's
I
right.
think like khaki. I think is the right color. Yeah, that khaki colored little area up on top, Saint-Amour. Um, Notice how looking through it is one of the smallest, right? Like in terms of a surface area, and in fact, Saint-Amour, I believe Chouveau is the smallest, and then Saint-Amour is the second smallest. They're about the same size, so they're both really the smallest, one of the smallest crews in all of Beaujolais. So we're starting off in the north, and we're going to work our way down to the south. Is what we're going to do. The third map you're going to get, the Beaujolais soil map, and you see now we start to see the granite enter the picture. This red is all basically granite, and you see how much granite is present. So this is just the northern half of Beaujolais, right? Like we're not looking at the southern half, that pink area that we saw in the last map. So just see how much granite runs through the entire Beaujolais, and that's essentially what we're talking about. We're talking about Cru Beaujolais. We're talking about Gamay grown on granite. But if you look up top, which is Saint-Amour, you see kind of how there are different mixture of soil types here. Julian is the same, but Julian is more green, it's more uniform in terms of soil type. But Saint-Amour has so many different soil types. So actually, in fact, the diversity of Saint-Amour in terms of soil type is quite varied. So you do get very different style depending on where the vineyard site is and where you get it from. The next map, the fourth one, is actually the soil map of the Saint-Amour crew itself. So all of these crews are mostly named after their namesake town. So here, Saint-Amour Bellevue is the town that the Saint-Amour is named after. But all these different names that you see, all these divisions, they're called ludi. Each one is not a vineyard. They're this collection of different vineyards inside each one. So, and then those collection of vineyards are called a ludi. So these are different ludi. And then this one in particular that we're tasting today, the 2022 Romuald Petit Saint-Amour Les Billards, is the name of the ludi. And where that is right here. You see that very beautifully drawn red arrow that I drew there. But this is where we are. That tiny little hamlet is where we are, and that red kind of a cropping that you see there is the granite that exists there. So this is actually grown on granite and clay mixture from that little area. And you know that for last we've had Domaine de Billards, which is the normal Saint-Amour producer that we've had a few times. They are actually named, they're situated right here, and that's part of the reason why it's called Hamlet, the Amo. I'm sure I'm butchering the French pronunciation. It literally means Hamlet in English. Amo de Billards is where that Domaine de Billards is, and is what's named after, or the domain is named after the ludi of Billard. The Billards is basically where we are. So it's butting up right up against Julien's. So if you get the last map, like you see, Juliana is right there. So we're probably looking at like right around here somewhere, like right around there is basically what we're looking at. So butting up right up against Juliana, so is where we are. And in terms of, oh shit, sorry, I just lost it. There we go. That Le Billard is a single. Well, the Le Billard is bigger than that, but the actual the vineyard holding that Romuald Petit has, he has a 1 hectare of a single 1 hectare parcel in Le Billards, and then this is all made from there. So it's a very very small kind of a bottling from a very particular parcel. So imagine thinking, I mean, you know, we are talking about Beaujolais in 10 different crus and like seeing the distinction between all of them. But imagine even just within one cru, especially in places like Saint-Amour, where like there are all these different soil types. Just imagine how much you can go around and like, taste wines from different nudi and different soil types and how different it would be. So you can, you know, the rabbit hole is never deep enough. You can continue to go down the rabbit hole if you choose to. Like I mentioned, Saint-Amour is one of the smallest, one of the most diverse soil types. There's blue volcanic, schist granite, pink granite, clay, alluvial soil, sandstones, all kinds of things are there. The name Saint-Amour, as you know, if you speak Spanish or French, it's an angel of love, is essentially what that means. It's kind of a bit of a blessing and a curse, the fact that the cru is named Saint-Amour, and we'll talk about that just in a second. But it is the most northerly cru of them all. So to the west of it is Juliana's, but the north of it is literally you are butting up against Burgundy. So there's a bit of limestone that comes down here as well from that. So if you ever get Beaujolais Blanc, which is a Chardonnay, a lot of it is grown here in Saint-Amour, or the area around Saint-Amour, because that limestone that comes down from Burgundy. Burgundy is known for their Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So if you ever get Beaujolais Blanc, is most likely it is made right around here in Saint-Amour. So the name, let's talk about the name for a second. So the name Saint-Amour comes from the Roman soldier here who named Amore or Amor in the 4th century, who escaped the kind of the persecution from, you know, by converting to Christianity, and then ended up here. Later he founded a church and a mission in this part of France, and then, you know, hence the name Saint-Amour, and that's how this area got the name Saint-Amour, named after this Roman soldier who basically escaped persecution. But remember how earlier I said that name is kind of a blessing and a curse. So the blessing is that because a name like Saint-Amour, it is, I mean, it's actually quite perfect because tomorrow is I mean, we're recording this on the day before Valentine's Day. So tomorrow's Valentine's Day. With a name like Saint-Amour, it does so well for Valentine's Day. Also, our wine club member, Tucker and Michael, they actually served Saint-Amour, the Domaine de Billards, on their wedding. It was like their wedding night. So again, like it is so popular with anniversaries, you know, Valentine's Day, weddings, and things like that. So it like kind of has that brand kind of a power behind it. So it is quite easy to sell Saint-Amour. It's always selling out, and there's a lot of demand, particularly around certain times of the year. Christmas is also a quite popular time. So there's a lot of like a big co-op activity here. Like these co-ops are coming in, just buying up all the grapes in the area, and then just honestly just pulling out like a bulk wine. It's not necessarily quality driven because they know that they can sell Saint-Amour. You know, Cru Beaujolais, unless you're in a cool wine club, like, you know, 6 Foot Wine Club, and you do things like Beauj Club, most people are like, you know, they just have an idea of Beaujolais, and a Cru Beaujolais is something so foreign, and it's kind of a hard thing to sell because Beaujolais have such a bad rap in America. But things like Saint-Amour flies off the shelf because the name alone.
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of the both blessing and the curse. The blessing is that, you know, it's easy to sell. It's not necessarily a hard thing to find on the market just because of that. But there's a lot of, but the curse is that there's a lot of a kind of bulk, mass commercial activity around, or production around Saint-Amour, and then it's kind of hard to find really good quality driven Saint-Amour. So you kind of have to do your homework, you know, whether looking at like, you know, that soil map and things like that, where it is made and who's making it, and you just kind of have to go and like find it. So again, that's kind of a bit of a blessing in the curse. All right. let's talk about who makes this wine, which is this guy, Romuald Petit. There's him standing right in his vineyard next to all this crazy goblet-trained bush vines. I talked about that last week, right? So there's no trellising here. These are most of his vines that he grows is like 100+ year old, which is funny. Like even last year, I remember during Beauj box, every Beauj box, I'm like, wow, like it's so cool. They're like 100-year-old vines. They're like so old. Like last week's wine was like 50 to 80-year-old vines, and I was like, holy shit, that's old.
Yeah.
But now that I've been to Chile, where it's like 200 to 250-year-old ungrafted vines, I'm
Those
like,
are young.
yeah, what is this? It's just like a fucking baby. But yeah, I mean these are like 100+ year old vines, or at least 50 to 80-year-old vines. So they're very old. This area, just like the rest of Europe, it's the Romans who came here, established viticulture. So they've been making planting vines and making wines here for a long time. But he's a Morgon native, and he grew up in wine. His family's made wine, and then he went up to Burgundy to train. So he worked for a lot of different famous producers up there.
Wow.
But then he decided to come back. But he kind of has both of his feet in Mâconnais, which is the most southern part of Burgundy, as well as Beaujolais. So he farms 7 hectares, which is tiny. 7 hectares in Mâconnais and 5 hectares in Beaujolais. The Beaujolais parcels are primarily in Morgon, with smaller holdings in Romuald and Saint-Amour, but he does also make some Beaujolais Blanc as well. His Beaujolais Blanc is like a fantastic value, by the way. It's hard to find it in stock, but if you have it, I'll offer it on Case Club, but it's delicious and really, really good value. He farms over 100-year-old vines, planted just after phlox rot crisis. So he has always farmed without chemical fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides. Is pretty much what we're talking. All the tenets of natural wine that we talk about, chemical-free farming. In 2019, he officially began his conversion towards organic certification, and then so it is a certified organic, and then all wines are harvested by hand and fermented with indigenous yeast, native yeast. It's all the things we talk about. Just some other pictures that I'm also sending out, which is one other thing is the picture named Granite Bedrock. So if you look at all the broken bedrock, and then all the on the bottom, that's granite that's on the bottom, and then that's essentially what the vines are growing on. So there's really not much soil here, not much organic matter. We're talking about very poor, infertile soil. So we're talking about like high acid, really like structured, a lot of minerality in the wine, that kind of things. And then there's another picture of bush vines. Yeah, so these are like 100+ year old vines. I mean, look at how thick those things are. It looks like a crazy like alien arms like shooting out of the earth. It's pretty cool. So what is this wine? So this is a 100%, 100+ year old Gamay vines. So quite old vines in here. Grown on a mixture of granite and clay, like I mentioned. So the granite gives the acid, the minerality, and the structure, and the clay gives like the fruit. The really ripeness and the generous fruit. Semi-carbonic, so there's no blanket of CO2 when it goes into the tank, but it just he does destem portion of his grapes. So a lot of producers actually do this, where in regular carbonic everything's whole cluster and you layer it kind of gently, so like you're not trying to crush the grapes. But with a lot of producers, what they do, they sandwich things. So they do like layer of a whole cluster, they put destem berries, layer of cluster, destem berries. So you kind of get like best of the both world. Like with the destemmed berries, you get a lot more like fruit. Yeah. And then with a whole stem, you get less phenolic, also less structure, less tannin, and then more like a poppy, bright, high-toned kind of fruit. It's macerated for 21 days, and we're gonna talk about that when we get to tasting it. Both I believe it's both the maceration and the just as a point of comparison, last week's wine was like 10-day maceration. So even just the color, you can tell like how much darker this is. So just longer maceration, especially with the destem berries also mixed in there. The fruit quality here is much darker, especially for Saint-Amour. Saint-Amour, northern you go, cooler it is, and usually it's much brighter. It's a lot more red berry driven, red fruit driven, and things like that. But this is a bit of a, I mean, again, it all depends on where the parcel is. Not, each crew, every Ludite is not a monolith. They all represent different things, but this particular one is a little bit darker, a little bit inkier, and I think that's a function of the longer maceration as well as the destem berries.
Pretty purple.
Yeah, and then it's aged 10 months in both cement and oak barrels. So there's a bit of oak barrels here, but not new barrels. They're all neutral barrels. So the oak barrels that have been used. So this is something we can start talking about. So far we've only had wines that's gone through carbonic maceration, aged in concrete vats, but now there are some wooden barrels introduced. So we can talk about how that changes the texture of the wine, the body, the mouthfeel, and all that. Rest of it is, what you would expect, unfiltered, unfined, just touch of sulfites at bottling is what we have here. Any questions?
No. We went through it all.
Yeah. A lot of notes here. All right. Well, let's taste it, Jacob.
All right. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It has been a while. All right. All right. You want to take the appearance?
Yeah.
All right. By the way, I never said this, which I should have said at the very beginning. We're tasting 2022 Romuald Petit Billards Saint-Amour is what we're tasting.
For those sticking around.
Yeah.
For the tasting.
I always say this to every year to the importer, but this label is so bad. It's so bad. It just looks so cheap, and I don't know. I don't like it at all, and like the importer doesn't like it, but Romuald doesn't want to change it. He's like,
good.
I
mean, it's simple.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems it seems like so
I don't
like
know.
this is like artisanal wine, but like this just looks like such a I don't know, just like a cheap mass-produced one.
Cliche. Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's clear. It's not hazy.
I mean, it's not super hazy, but you can tell this is not filtered. I mean, it's not like translucent.
It's on the clearer side.
Yeah. All right, intensity.
I'm also looking at like I need white piece of paper. I would say this is. Oh, here we go. I'd say this is medium.
Yeah, I mean, this is medium, at least medium. It's bordering on
at least
deep here, right? Like
I
it's
know.
like,
If you put it over that.
yeah. Oh yeah. I can kind of see through. Yeah, I'll call this about like high, medium plus. Just maybe shy of deep. But yeah, it's got some. It's definitely more color than we had last week, and then the first 2 weeks that we had. Because again, we're talking about longer maceration, almost double the length of a maceration, 10 days to 21 days, and then it kind of definitely shows. Color?
I'd say ruby.
Ruby and
borderline
then
purple, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
I definitely have some blue flecks coming in
Yeah.
here. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right, like a little purpley, little blow up.
against the white. It's definitely it feels ruby, but
Yeah. So I would call this blue. I'm sorry, ruby with a purple blueberry kind of bluish flecks coming in here. Because it's definitely more purple than the wines that we've had.
ooh, those
Okay.
legs.
God damn it. God damn it. See, this is why I don't do this with this guy. Any other observations besides legs?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
it's a.
No sediment, no
No.
bubbles.
Is there any in the bottle? I couldn't really see.
I don't know.
But no, not in the glass.
Yeah, not in the glass. I don't get any.
Yep.
Here, actually, let's do this. We actually have last week's wine still. This is the Beaujolais Billards, the Beaujolais, and here, let's just see the color. This is also quite.
Yeah. It's like the same.
Oh, interesting. Because I call this. Yeah, it's a little bit more ruby. Yes, but yeah, I remember this being
Yeah, it's a little
lighter.
lighter.
Ruby. Yeah, it's a little bit ruby. Anyways, all right, news. Let's do this.
It's clean.
Yeah, this one is clean. This one is sound. Intensity. Gotta get it here. So if you just off the glass.
I'd say medium plus.
Yeah, I'm getting it here. You got a medium plus.
It's not like so far off the glass, but you definitely
Yeah.
get it beforehand.
Medium plus aromas. Ooh, what do you got?
Hmm.
You
Red
got a
fruit.
floral?
Definitely red fruit.
Yeah. Let's start. Do you get any floral?
Oh, floral? No.
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 Do you get any like purple-ish, bluish, like violet kind of flower? I get some of that.
I don't know if I get that or if it's more herbal and like stone, but
I mean, I definitely get like a minerality here as well.
I don't know if I don't know about I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely call it some violet.
A little floral,
Yeah, and it's not unusual for Game to give off some violet. I always get some violet with the Game. With typical, quote unquote, typical Saint-Amour, much more like a bright red fruit driven Saint-Amour, you will get a lot more like rose petals and things like that. But with this one, I get a lot more. And it may be power suggestion of like knowing how dark it looks, but to me, this is definitely more violet than anything else. Any green fruit, citrus,
really.
stone,
No.
tropical?
Well, stone maybe a little bit, but
Yeah.
Oh, not stone fruit. Sorry.
Okay. No tropical.
No.
Yeah, no tropical. Red fruit?
Yeah, red.
Yeah, I guess some red fruit here too. What do you got?
Just
Call
like-
it out.
Red currant.
Yeah, some like it's not super bright red currant, but
yeah.
it's like plummy to me. It's
Yeah.
like there's some red plum. Also like, this is that bramble kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you ever had like a black raspberry. It's like the raspberry that has some darkness to it. To me, like it's got a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then usually with Saint-Amour you get a lot more red fruit, but here because of the maceration and maybe where it is, I also get quite a bit of black fruit here as well.
Yeah.
What do you get on the black fruit?
Yeah, I mean the bramble is the black fruit, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean it is very plummy.
Yeah, I get bramble, I get some black plum, black cherry.
Yeah.
There's some like darkness here for sure on the fruit character, for sure. Nature of the fruit? Is it fresh? Is it ripe? Is it underripe? Overripe?
No, I think it's overripe. I think it's more cooked almost.
Yeah?
No, I mean it's not red. It doesn't feel like it's not super bright to me.
Yeah. It's not like
Or it's
popping off the glass.
jammier,
Yeah.
It's
like if you have gotten a full carbonic Saint-Amour, we would be talking about like cranberries,
Yeah,
and,
no.
like strawberries, and like really red, bright poppy thing. But it's not that here. It's like
Fruity,
semi-carbonic. Yeah, it's
jammy.
it's definitely like darker,
Yeah.
black plum, like really ripe black plum. I don't call it like overripe, but like to me this is very, very ripe fruit.
Yeah.
Any herbaceous, any herbal?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't get much of like herbaceousness, greenness. Really good farming
Not
here.
herbal either.
Yeah, no
More
herbal.
spice. I mean, I do get the whetstone though.
Yeah, I definitely get some stoniness here. Some minerality coming through.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I was confusing for the like floral though. I mean, there wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely some like a stone, like
Yeah.
like a little wet or like a crushed rock, like a rock dust kind of a thing going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely get that. Any secondary, any tertiary?
No.
No. This is all primary, still very, very fresh.
What year? Yeah, 22.
22. All right, let's taste it. Let's get to the palate.
It's dry.
Sorry, it's dry. This one's like bowl dry.
Yeah.
Acidity.
That's up there. I mean, you were talking about the granite sort of bringing that out. I'd say medium plus.
Yeah, it's like to me this is like right at the borderline. I could go either medium or medium plus, but like it's not nothing. Like it's definitely the acid is there to keep it really lively. I can feel the acid, so yeah, I think I would land on like medium, high end of medium, low end of medium plus, but either way, I think I right around there.
Yeah,
Tannin.
I would say higher acidity than tannin. Like this is medium tannin for me. It's not gum gripping. Yes, but it's there.
It's actually quite a bit of tannin here. Yeah, I'm gonna call this medium as well, especially for semi-carbonic. The whole reason why you do semi-carbonic is to reduce that phenolic, reduce that tannin extraction, but also having that destemmed berries, and then having a longer maceration, which means all the juice and all the stems and the skin is gonna soak there for longer, which means it's gonna have more tannin. So I definitely get some tannin here.
Yep, for sure.
Some medium tannin. Which is good. I mean, it's got the textural thing.
It's got some grip.
Yeah. Alcohol.
I'd say higher end of medium. This is, I think I saw it was 13.
Yeah, 13%. So that's right in medium. 12.5 Medium plus is like 14, 14.5. So we're talking about like right in the medium range. And you know, with Beaujolais, that's what you're gonna find. It's usually gonna be like right around that like 12 to 14% range. It's rarely ever gonna go above 14. It's rarely gonna go below 12%. 12.5, 13, 13.5. That's like the optimal range, or usual range. Body.
I'd call this medium.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually lighter than you'd think.
It's funny. I like if you wanna taste that Beaujolais Village, like I don't know how, I haven't tasted it today, but
this is like it smells like soap.
yeah, like it's so floral.
It smells like it smells like soap.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like this is granite. Like that's another thing that's crazy about this. This is Cru what we're drinking, and this is Beaujolais Village, but I get more like granitic minerality on this thing.
Mm.
But it's like so.
It smells like soap.
Yeah, there's a lot of like floridity. It's really
Cherry.
pretty. A lot of cherry. Yeah. Where were we? Body. So yeah, there's more
Medium.
body here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call this medium as well. But it's got some weight just because again all that extraction from the longer maceration, it kind of definitely shows through, and also the barrel aging will also help with some of that as well. Flavor intensity.
I don't know. It's somewhere. I need a little more. I'd say it's up there, but I'd say it's. I'd say it's medium plus.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I would call the medium plus on the nose, and then I'm getting about the same on the palate. We call this one medium plus on the palate as well. Medium plus intense flavors of. You confirm everything that you smelled on the nose. Is there anything else that you get on the palate?
I think it tastes more like red fruit than black fruit.
Yeah, the fruit quality here is really interesting. Like I get a lot of that red fruit, but I also get black fruit. It's like a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Also, like it's just the fruit quality seems like a bright, like a red fruit, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like knowing that this is a much darker color, so my, it's playing tricks on me, and it want me to think that there's a blacker fruit in here. But yeah, it's not like a really deep dark black fruit.
No.
It's like a really
Bright.
bright light black fruit, and then there's some red fruit in here as well.
Yeah, but I think you taste everything you get in the nose pretty much.
Yeah, agreed. I think the violet, I think that all the mixture of red fruit, black fruit, really ripe, fresh. One thing, this is something that like the grid doesn't really talk about, but it's the mouth feel, and then this is where I get some of that barrel influence here. Like this is not, especially for carbonic wines, who tends to be a lot more like lifted and high tone and things like that. There's a roundness to this wine. It's not edgy. It's not sharp. Like everything is quite like rounded and smooth.
It's like a good 2% milk.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were to like assign a shape to the wine, like to me, this is much more like round than pointed. And then a lot of that is the barrel aging.
Yeah.
Gives you that kind of roundness. I definitely do get the stoniness for sure. Oh, hey, Bo. No spices.
No.
None of this. No secondary, tertiary.
Nope. No secondary.
Yeah.
No tertiary.
No secondary, tertiary. I mean, there's no new oak on this thing, so wouldn't expect it. I mean, I could be convinced. Like, I thought there was like maybe a touch of a little of a spice, like a. But I get it more as like a mouthfeel barrel. It's not really a new oak, so you're not gonna get much of that. Finally, the length. How long is the length? Goes on for a while.
Yeah, medium plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna call this a medium plus as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice.
We're gonna get a Beau.
Bo wanted to drink some Beaujolais. By the way, this is Jacob's dog, Bo, short for Beaujolais. Talking about. Did you hear your name? Is it why you're here?
Hello.
Yeah, you want some? The finish is really nice. It like immediately hits you with that like flower and the fruit, and then like the minerality comes in, the rockiness, and then it like changes. Yeah, I'm gonna call this a medium plus. Conclusion. You know what? I do get a little bit of like the barrel, like especially very at the end with the finish. I get that barrel, like I do taste the wood a little bit. So like some of that like little spices here and there, like right at the end of the finish, but still very much like a fresh fruit and then that driven.
Yeah.
All right, quality level. How good is this wine, and would you age it?
Oh, I'd
Balanced?
say it is a very good. Like
Well,
there's a
let's-
lot of medium pluses.
Yeah. Well, let's go through it. So, is this
Yeah.
wine balanced?
Yeah, very
Yeah,
balanced.
I think it's very balanced. There's nothing
Yeah.
is sticking out here.
No.
Intensity we call medium plus.
basically.
Yeah, medium plus on the nose, medium plus on
Yeah.
the palate. Complexity, we called it, you know, a little bit of black fruit, a little bit of red fruit, some flour, some rocks. No
Yeah.
secondary, no tertiary.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of barrels, but not a whole lot of thing.
No.
So let's say what, medium?
Yeah.
And then the length we called it
Medium plus.
medium plus. So
very
when you
good.
take average all of that, you get 2 medium pluses and 1 medium. So somewhere between medium plus, but landing closer to very good. So let's call it very good.
I think it's very good. Would I age it?
Would you age it?
Yeah, I mean there's structure
So-
and acid there. Like
Yeah.
I don't know that I would age it forever,
Yeah.
but I would be interested in what this tastes like in 5 and 10 years.
Yeah. Ooh, 10 years.
It'd be,
That's a
could
long
be
time.
natty in 10 years. It'd be crazy. At least 5 years.
Yeah, I think I would have no problem. This, I think this would not fall apart anytime soon in the next 5 years. We had some good tannin, medium tannin. We call it medium to medium plus acid. So decent backbone. There's plenty of intensity here, medium plus on both nose and the palate. Complexity is the only thing we're missing. But like, to me, unlike last week's wine, what was delicious about it was like there's so much freshness there. Like everything was so fresh, like you were saying, it smells like almost like a perfume. Like everything is so expressive and bright and fresh, and that's what was delicious. But with the barrel aging here, it's not necessarily the freshness. Like to me, this wine is just so like there's much more like way more base notes here than it is in last week's wine, right? So as the wine ages and becomes picks up a little bit of like non-fruit and flower things, I do think it's gonna become more interesting. It's gonna be more complex and all of that. But having said, I don't think it's not meant to be aged for a long time. So I agree with you with the 5-year call. I think this is perfectly fine. Pick up a few bottles. And by the way, I mean we're already 4 years in. So 5 more years from now, I mean, we are gonna hit about like 10-year mark, like 9 years is what we're saying. But yeah, I think for the next 5 years, I think this wine is gonna have no problem. Drink this over the next 5 years is what I said. All right, I haven't revealed this number. I don't know if you saw it, but if you all want to play the game of guessing the price on a retail shelf, pause the video now, and then you can come back. How much do you think this wine is on a retail shelf? And how much would you be happy to pay for this on a retail shelf?
Well, I saw it.
Ah! Okay.
I mean, I would have probably said like up a couple bucks more.
Yeah.
I probably would have said between 25 and 30.
Okay.
But and I'd be happy to pay 25 for this.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a very good. We called it very good, ageable 5 years. It's already got like 4 years of age on it. Yeah, I mean, 25 I think is a very reasonable price for Cru Beaujolais of this quality, and the price on this thing is $22.50.
Yep.
Romuald Petit. I mean, this is a lot of it is because the importer, the wine tradition, is based out of Falls Church. They're direct importers and they distribute the wines themselves here in this market. So we do get a best pricing in all of the states, because, but it has always been, I always thought it's like unbelievable value for what you get on this wine.
It's good.
All of his wines. So for $22.50, I'll be stoked to get a bottle like this. Again, if you're comparing this to last week's wine or the first week's wine, it's not that one is better than the other, but especially with the last week's wine, Beaujolais Village, which was actually more expensive than the Cru Beaujolais, just by a few bucks. But you know, it's about it's really about the preference. It's not necessarily one is better than the other. This one obviously has a little bit of a roundness, a little bit blacker, darker fruits. As last week it was a much brighter red berry, poppy fruit, and all of that. So,
What would you eat with this?
to me, this is like a perfect burger wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get like a cheeseburger and just like fucking,
Oh yeah.
put it in my face and then pound this.
Mm.
That's what I want. Any other questions?
No, this is good.
Yeah.
This is some good stuff.
Cool. All right. Well, here we are. You've seen it again. Mr. Jacob Dusso making an appearance for, I don't even know, 6 years in a row.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. If you guys have any questions, shoot me an email. You know where to find me. Otherwise, toodles. We're gonna go drink this and get a little hammered. And watch Singles Inferno, by the way. If you all haven't watched Singles Inferno, you should all watch Singles Inferno. Yeah, it's great. It's on Netflix. Okay, bye.